Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Facebook. Come on in. How's everyone doing? Let's chit chat. Good morning. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If this is your first time, definitely let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me introduce myself. My name is Aisha Chidole, and I'm an immigration attorney, and I represent clients all over the U.S. with their family immigration and humanitarian-based immigration. We have offices here in Atlanta, Georgia, and Florida, but we represent clients all over the United States. So, as long as you want to immigrate, and it's family or humanitarian base or, certain appeals or naturalization, we can help you with that. To schedule a call, you can call 407-995-6567, or you can also send a WhatsApp to 404-333-8751. Someone says, can you assist in Nevada? Absolutely. We assist in every state. Hi, first timer from Tennessee. Envious asks, how much is a consultation? A consultation is $150. Katie's Cabolo from is Kate from Texas. Good morning. Chev Siobhan from Phoenix, Arizona. Good morning. Olivian from the NYC. Good morning. Ooh, who's this? Laura Chris from Colombia. Good morning. I'm from Louisiana and I'm looking for an immigration attorney. Call me. I'm happy to help you. Feel free to reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you. Frederick says it's his first time from New York. And he's saying good morning to everyone on the platform. Good morning to you as well. Chev says my VAWA expedited request is pending has been pending for 3 months now. Should I be worried? No, it's just that VAWA takes time. So sometimes even if you do an expedited and they approve your expedited, it doesn't mean that they're going to give you a decision in 30 days. And I think that that's what throws a lot of people off. Like, so, even if you file for expedited and say, okay, we've expedited, it could still take them several months, like 6 months, 8 months to get your decision, because in their minds, 8 months is better than 2 years, which is a normal timeline, 2 years, 2.5 years for VAWA cases. So, Chev, I wouldn't necessarily worry because that seems to be the norm, like where even though they approve your expedited, they don't still make a decision immediately. They may make a decision before 3 years, but it doesn't mean that they will make a decision immediately. Okay. Good morning, Cleopatra. How are you? Okay. Someone said repeat the number. All right, let me write it, type it here. Call. All right, guys, I have a hard time talking and typing numbers. So just let me type it in here. 6567, 6567, or WhatsApp. WhatsApp 404. I'm almost done. 333 8751. Okay. Post. So now you should be able to see it. Let me pin it. Okay, so now you should be able to see my number on Instagram. If you're in Facebook or YouTube, you should see my number. It's literally on the ticker right now. Scrolling through the ticker. Can a daughter age 6 be added at NVC if her mother is already in the process of NVC I-130? The answer depends. Blank, if it was a green card holder that filed a petition for the mother, like as a spouse, then she can be added at the NVC stage. If it was a U.S. citizen that, i.e., filed for their spouse, she can be added at that stage. She would have had to have been filed her own I-130 petition. So the answer would depend on whoever filed for the mother. Good morning. My question is, and it's blank. I have my naturalization interview in April. However, I just found out that I was still supposed to file my 2020 taxes even though I was unemployed. What can I do? Not really sure. As I always say, I generally don't like to give tax advice because I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not a tax preparer. I only like to give information related to immigration or taxes, as it relates to, immigration. Um, with um, income and filing taxes, there's a certain threshold where you're not required to file taxes. So confirm what that threshold is. I don't want to say the number. I want you to go confirm it yourself so that you're not saying that I'm the one who told you. Go confirm it yourself. If you didn't make up to that amount, then you don't need to file taxes. And just provide that information that you were unemployed and you didn't make up to X, so I wasn't required to file taxes. Okay. Would I be able to request a cousin from Egypt, or can she apply for a tourist visa? She's going to have to apply for a tourist visa. You cannot petition for a cousin and family-based petitions. You can only petition for a parent, a sibling, a child, or a spouse. Now, sometimes some people say, well, my grandmother petitioned for me or something like that. So your grandmother cannot directly petition for you, but they can petition for a parent. And then if they're minor children, their options are follow to join. Same thing if a sibling files for a sibling and their children under a certain age, they can do a follow to join, but they can't directly petition for them. If my mom became a U.S. citizen in the U.S. when I was 9 years old, how do I go about getting my citizenship? Big Fredo, if your mom became a U.S. citizen after you were born, you don't derive citizenship automatically. The first thing that has to happen is you have to be a green card holder. So if you're a green card holder and you're not yet over 18, you can derive citizenship automatically if you can prove, that you were with your mom, you lived with your mom and all of that good stuff. If you're after 18, if you're older than 18, then you would need to file a naturalization application. And this is if you're already a green card holder. If you're not already a green card holder and your mom is a U.S. citizen, she's going to have to apply for your green card first and foremost before anything else can happen. Okay. Good morning. I filed for VAWA with an adjustment of status and I didn't get a work permit after 12 months. What document do you use to get a job? Will they issue a work permit or you just have to wait until they're approved? If you filed for adjustment of status with your VAWA, did you file for a work permit though? Because you said you filed for adjustment of status, but you didn't say that you filed for a work permit. If you file for a work permit, 12 months is definitely a long time. I'll definitely want to know, what's going on with USCIS. So I would recommend if you filed one, this is a good time to do an inquiry because 12 months is a long time. Okay. Russian Liverpool says, good morning. Thanks for all you do. May God bless you. Thank you. Amen. And, same to you. Pastor Shai says, oh, this one says, God bless you and the work that you do. Thank you so much. Everyone is blessing me today. Thank you. Thank you. Pretty Petite says, I like your nails and bracelet. Thank you so much. My daughters, I'm just loving having daughters. And my daughters are just so similar to me, which, gives me so much joy. I'm very much a girl's girl, girly girl. And like, they're always introducing me to new things. And they suggested this color because I always get pink. So that's why I did this color. I mean, listen, my kids, are really into skincare now. Like their skincare routine is even much more than mine. So it's just very exciting to watch, your children become their own selves and, make suggestions that are useful to even you, as an adult. So that's nice. But thank you. And they'll be happy to hear that you said that. Speedy Dunn said, I just booked an appointment with your firm. Yes, thank you so much. Esther says, do you know any information on H-1B visas? I don't handle H-1B visas, so I don't talk about them. I don't do employment or student visas, so that's why I don't talk about them, even though I might know information about them. I only talk about things that I do on a daily basis because, if I don't do it on a daily basis, I might not necessarily keep up with everything that I need to know for areas that I don't do, okay? If my green card expired, can I still file for citizenship? Absolutely. And when you submit your citizenship application, it can act as an extension of your green card. Good morning. Does Canada and the UK require a visa if I'm applying for advanced parole? This answer is going to have to be answered by the country you're from. So because you get advanced parole doesn't mean you have like free access to any country in the world. Every country still operates based on the country that you're a citizen of. So if you're a citizen, I'll use Nigeria, for example. So like if you're from Nigeria, you're a citizen of Nigeria, and you get advanced parole, in order for you to go to Canada or in order for you to go to the UK, you still need a visa. So as long as they approve you for a visa, you can travel there. What advanced parole does is that it's not something that grants you entry into another country. It grants you entry only into the United States. So as long as you leave the country based on your own recognizance and your own passport and visa, you can enter back into the United States. So that's what advanced parole does. Okay. Oh, this person's from Gambia. Good morning. How are you? Okay. Let's see. Good morning. My thing is frozen, so let me see why it's frozen, if I can get it up. What will cause delays in receipts submitted for I-765, I-131 for renewals, marriage-based, or VAWA? I don't know. I don't know what will cause delays. Sometimes delays could be that you didn't submit it to the right address. You didn't give them the information they needed, and they're sending back your application to you. So there are many different things that could cause a delay. So I don't know what's causing your own particular delay. If I file for a green card through marriage while I'm outside the United States, can I still visit while it's being in process? I think this is a really good question. The answer is yes, you can. So because if you file for an I-130, it doesn't preclude you or limit you from traveling in any way. What stops you from traveling is the I-485, which can only be filed in the United States. So if you file an I-130 and you're doing consular processing, you're free to go wherever you want. Now, are they, like sometimes would they deny you entry or something like that, or like a visa, like to come to the US because they know you have a case pending? It's possible. But it doesn't stop you from coming here. It doesn't affect your case in any way. Okay. Davis says, good morning, Miss Aisha. You've truly proven yourself to be one of the elite attorneys in the States, and you're much appreciated. Oh, thank you so much, David. And God bless you too. And Z says, good morning. If you are an I-751 abuse waiver petitioner, what can be evidence of good faith? Evidence of good faith is good faith marriage. What she's asking is for good faith marriage. So basically, whenever you submit, you get approved for a green card that's for 2 years. So we call that a conditional green card. When you're applying for removal of condition, whether it's based on abuse, whether it's based on divorce, but whether it's based on hardship, whether it's based on death, you have to prove that you have a good faith marriage. A good faith marriage means that you didn't enter this marriage with bad intentions, like just for immigration. That you entered it to really be in a marriage and things just didn't work out. And my spouse is abusive. So what they want to see are essentially the same things that you sent when you initially submitted your application, but basically newer versions. So they don't want the exact same things, but the same types of things are what they're looking for. So, proof of cohabitation of some sort, proof of the relationship being genuine, financials together, trips together, insurance together, children together, bills together, family interactions, gatherings, affidavits, so things like that. Those are what they're looking for. It's always best to send evidence that are dated after the initial green card was issued to you. So if, let's say, you got your green card in January of 2022, but you've been married since, 2021, January, they don't want to see anything before you got that green card in January 2022, or while your case wasn't processed and you didn't submit those things. It will be better to send things that you've acquired after January 2022. Now, there are some people that their marriages don't even last that long, where you get an approval without an interview, and literally before even the approval, your marriage is going through all of those things. There are always ways to be able to prove that still, even though we don't have all these things, here's X, Y, and Z reasons why I don't have these things. You guys have to understand, like for Z here, the question you're asking is, because you're submitting a petition as an abuse victim. If you think about the psychology or the power wheel structure of an abuser and a victim, most abusers have certain controls, and especially financially, over their spouses, where it's not unreasonable that they may not have stuff, have new stuff if that person holds the control, in the relationship. So it's really all in how these types of cases are argued, and that's why you guys should hire us, because we're very good at making arguments, because this is what we do all day, every day. But so yeah. Okay. Good morning, Suzanne. Okay, did I get every question? There, I did. I did my spousal visa interview in Lagos in December of 2023. I've since been placed on administrative processing. My wife has written a congressman for intervention. It's been almost 3 months. Should I be worried? I don't know your immigration history, but it would concern me. It definitely will concern me. I would need to know your immigration history to understand why they're putting you on administrative processing. A lot of times we find that some people, what they end up doing is, let's say they applied for a tourist visa. They say like an agency told them that they should write that they're married and they weren't married. And they submit that and they completely forget about it. And then years later, they marry somebody and they write, this is their first marriage. And USCIS pulls up all your B1, B2, documents and see that you listed that. And then they may be doing some investigation. It would also be that they're waiting on some sort of documentation for your wife. Again, I don't know. But administrative processing after a consulate interview definitely concerns me. How long after you move to a different state do you have to notify USCIS? Immediately. I applied for citizenship 2 years ago based on marriage, but only now have they scheduled my citizenship interview. But I am divorced. Will they cancel my citizenship application? They will deny you if you have not had your green card for 3 years. For 5 years since you're divorced. So just go to the interview. I don't know how many years you've had your green card. But if you're doing it based on marriage, it's 3 years. If it's any other reason like divorce, it's 5 years. So what will happen is they'll just deny you, and then you just have to apply again when that time has come. Okay. Hi from Ohio. My work authorization expires in February this year. February has passed. Is that what you mean? It expired in February? I applied for renewal and I got a notice receipt, but my employer did ask for my new work authorization. Can I continue working? Well, I don't know when you submitted your application. So, and I don't know what kind of class, of immigration petition that you're filing. I'm just going to assume that you're doing a family-based case. If you're doing a family-based case, as long as you submitted and you submitted your application before the expiration date, you can use the expiration and your receipt, which should be written on there, that it extends the expired green card until you get the new one. If your employer doesn't understand that, then you need to either have an attorney write a letter and either print out the policy manual to show them what the rules are, because some people have a hard time understanding it. Ms. Vivacia says, yes, you're loved and appreciated. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. My VAWA case has been approved since December, and I haven't gotten a response on my I-485. My I-485 was transferred to another office in January, and they said that's to fasten the process, but I don't get and then it cut off, but I think I know what you're asking me. So this is absolutely normal. First of all, congratulations. This is the biggest hump, like to get over the VAWA approval hump, because the 485 is just more relaxed once you get your VAWA approved. Normally, they're not transferring it to speed it up. That's not how it works. They're transferring it because it has to go to your field office of whatever state you live in. So it goes from Vermont to whatever state you live in, right? And usually this can take anywhere from 1 month post-approval to 6 months. That's what we see as the average. So you're still very much within the timeline. So once they transfer it over to the field office can either decide, should we do a interview? Should we schedule them for an interview, or should we just ask them for their medicals and bypass the interview? But give or take, it takes about 6 months. So, it's just been about 2 months. So you're good. Okay. Francis Pade. Hey, Francis says, thank you for all you do. I'm a grateful client. Yes. I'm so happy to have been instrumental in your life. Thank you. Will it take longer to get my 10-year green card, being that I'm divorced, with a 2-year green card? Timeline is the same. Processing timeline is the same. Just prove your case. That's all. Okay, guys, I'm going to take like 3 more questions and then I got to jump off. Judge Schill, I don't know if this is a continuation. I only see a portion of your who is for adjustments? Okay, ask it. Documented. If you entered into the US undocumented, you cannot apply for adjustment of status in the traditional way. Meaning, if you marry a US citizen, for example, you cannot adjust your status through the US citizen. Now, if you qualify to self-petition as a VAWA applicant, you can adjust your status through that way, meaning your spouse was abusive or extremely cruel to you, or a child over 21 who's a US citizen was extremely cruel to you. In those cases, you can adjust your status. I know people don't talk about child-parent abuse often, but this happens a lot, especially when, a parent entered into the country undocumented, and their children, who are as Americans, maybe frustration out of life, or just having a hard life, having an immigrant parent without paperwork, threatens them, makes manipulative threats. Let me explain what I mean by that, because a lot of times when people say, how can a child abuse a parent? So in this country, for instance, like, if you try to discipline your child, whether that's verbally or whatever the case may be, your child threatens you, threatens deportation, threatens to call the cops on you, threatens to kill themselves, threatens to cut themselves, So a lot of abuse that comes from children is really mental and psychological. So not necessarily physical, where, they make these threats, they make you feel like you're, make you feel filled with guilt and shame, for not having really amounted to much or achieved much, without your paperwork, and how that affects most parents, that breaks most parents, emotionally, and psychologically, because, it makes you feel less than, or, you're not a good parent. Like, so those are some of the types of ways these kids treat their parents. And in those cases, that's what happens. Cleopatra, can you please reply to the message I sent you on the portal while you're on vacation? Okay, I'll check it once I finish. All right, guys. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I will see you guys back on live next week, Monday. I'm not sure yet what my schedule looks like, either around 9:30 or 10. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.